Welcome back, YouTube, and in this episode today, we're going to be going over superstar Caleb Williams, who hasn't played it down in the NFL yet, but he's already established a large investment firm to invest in venture capital, private equity, and real estate. But before we get to anything else, cue the intro. Thank you for the support on the YouTube channel so far. We're at 1,100 subs, so let's keep the good times rolling. Hit that subscribe button, especially if you learned something new, and let me know what you think in the comments. So guys, before we kind of go into the meat of the potatoes, right, let's talk about the trend of athletes investing in venture capital and other asset classes. Now, why do athletes do this? I've actually made a video about this. Here's a little bit more context, right? So essentially, athletes are looking for ways to diversify their funds across a lot of things, and startups provide a very enticing value proposition. It's high risk, but it's also high reward, and considering athletes have a lot of money, it's probably something that they would be open to taking risk on. Plus, them investing in startups means that they can provide startups a lot of things to help them be successful and drive revenue. Reductions in what's called customer acquisition cost, or CAC. They can literally just, by being themselves, they can literally just make companies big without them having spending a lot on outside advertising. And in fact, in 2023, $7 billion in new funds was invested by athletes for what's called enterprise value, so they get the bang on their buck. So this is not the first time that anybody has been doing this. However, let's go over to the meat and the potatoes. Caleb Williams, the first overall draft pick for the Bears, decided to go all in on 888 Midas, which is an investment firm that invests in startups, venture capital, and private equity and real estate. I missed that part. So yeah, so first, I'm a big history buff, and let's just go over the name, guys, because honestly, I think that this is really cool, right? So the name Midas is referencing a king in Greek mythology, where literally one of his most fabled stories, that everything he touches would turn to gold. Now, you can take whatever you want with that statement. I just thought it was cool, and for some reason, I just thought it's a very catchy name, and the fact that they would decide to do something like that. But anyway, let's go on to the meat and the potatoes, right? Now, while Caleb Williams doesn't have much expertise in doing this, obviously he's using, his big contract that he signed, 4 years, 40 million, and all these other things, and on top of his brand partnerships, to surround himself with expertise. And on this team will help him do things at scale. This is not an unknown concept, right? For example, another example, may not be an athlete, but Kim Kardashian, she has a private equity firm called Sky, where she does all of the advertising for the portfolio companies by just being herself, while she surrounds herself with some of the biggest names in private equity, KKR, Bain Capital Ventures, and all these other things. The superstars do the work on the field, while Caleb, has the other homies as well. So some of the people backing this would include a star-studded team like Lou Wolf, a former owner of the Oakland A's, and Chairman Wolf Urban. We have Sheriff Gufaris, the former managing director at Main Street Advisors, Ross Walker, the managing partner and co-founder of Hawkins Way Capital, and John Terzian, the co-president and co-founder of the H. Wood Group. Yeah, so going on to what that would say. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, considering I believe that Caleb Williams is the only rookie to execute these type of things. Although we do see a lot in the sports world today that athletes are going directly from their sports to being limited partners or GPs. If you don't know what those terms are, you can definitely go back on one of my videos and check it out. And then going directly to investing in startups, right? Some of the big names, that have done this recently, Kyle Kuzma from the Washington Wizards. Shout out, that's my home team, by the way. He immediately after his stint in the NBA that he's still playing is managing a portfolio of startups with the expertise around him, from the NBA and from Wall Street and wherever else he would find it as well. Aaron Rodgers has his own growth equity fund. Serena Williams has Serena Ventures, where she invests in her own thesis of startups. A person that I really like is Lance Armstrong. While he's still going strong, pardon the pun, he's managing Next Ventures, which invests in all things health technology, since he, was multiple time, Tour de France, I think like 7 times, which is insane. But you see a lot of these guys, while they may not have the fundamental finance knowledge, they're going out and finding the expertise and then quite literally using their presence in order to kind of like gain traction for their portfolio founders. And to be quite honest with you, it's actually a pretty star-studded idea. So wrapping up with Caleb Williams, right? So he put in his quotations, "I've always planned on being both an athlete and a businessman, as I've reached many of my athletic goals and dreams. Multiple business opportunities has also surfaced. Athletes are often inundated and distracted by these opportunities. To eliminate the potential for distraction, it was important to me to immediately set up a business operation with established trusted partners and advisors who are known for years to strategically take advantage of the ventures in the global marketplace. Partnership will enable me to focus the entirety of my time and energy on learning professional football game and bringing back a Lombardi trophy back home to Chicago where it belongs. I'm beyond excited to have 888 Midas working for me, and I expect growth as an investment entity in the years to come." So yes, with that being said, their website is located right here in case any of you guys want to reach out. I really have no idea why I put that, but I don't plan on reaching out. But the whole thesis kind of counts here, right? That while he's focusing on winning on the field, he has the back office in order to succeed as an athlete as well. And honestly, I'm excited to see what he also does in private equity. In case you don't know what private equity is, essentially you're taking already grown companies and with an overwhelming amount of leverage or debt, you become the operator, you can influence decisions and all these other things. And then with real estate, I'm going to assume that he's going to be heading into the commercial route or maybe residential. Who knows? You know, there's so many models. There is so many models. But yeah, guys, with that being said, I just kind of wanted to give you guys the 30,000 foot view of what Caleb Williams is going on and why this is such an anomaly, especially when I'm looking. The dude hasn't played it down yet, but he's getting right to business. And to be quite honest with you, like I wish him a good season because the Bears have been rather sorry. And even though I'm not a Bears fan, I'm always a fan of a come up story. So let's see if he can back it up on the field and in the business acumen as well. So guys, with that being said, hit me with that subscribe button for all things startups and venture capital, and I'll see you next time. Peace.